you want to make sure it's between 11 PM and 5 AM in game time. Now this vehicle will spawn only during midnight time, but it's definitely worth to get. So to let it spawn isn't that hard at all. First of all, I would recommend driving a random, not upgrade Sentinel from the street to increase the spawn of this modified version. So then you want to drive the same route as I do, so you want to follow the exact same path I take, and at this point, right here, where you can turn left, turn right or go straight, you want to wait for around 4 seconds and turn your camera view to the right. And after those 4 seconds, you want to accelerate and turn left. From here, you will notice that this rare and secret car will spawn. Now this car can spawn in 2 different versions. You could find a green one or a purple one. So this is the location right here on the map, and as you guys can see, it's really close to the Eclipse Towers apartment. And if you guys missed the time frame between 11 PM and 5 AM, you will have to wait another day in GTA 5 Online to get this rare vehicle. Now after you have found it, just quickly get inside of it and drive it inside one of your garages. Now once you have one of those, you easily can get more. Just get into the Sentinel access you just drove in and do the same process while driving the same roads, and just wait there 4 seconds and do the same thing. So right here, the green one spawned for me, and in my opinion the purple one does look better than the green one. But they both are amazing vehicles to have in your garage. They both have an awesome paint job and some great upgrades on it. They even go pretty fast, and they all sell for around $18,000 at Los Santos Customs. So what I recommend is getting a few copies and keep one of the green and purple copies, and I would sell all the others to make.
The next location which I'm going to be showing you will feature loads of very rare, highly customized gang vehicles which can be found on GTA 5 Online. So what you want to do is make your way to my location, and the entire road itself will feature loads of very rare, highly customized vehicles which are owned by the local gangs. The best time to make your way to this location is after 7 PM because that is the prime time for the gang vehicles to spawn in. However, sometimes when you make your way to this location before that time, you can occasionally get vehicles to spawn in. But as long as you make your way to this location after 7 PM, you're almost guaranteed every time to get yourself one of these rare, highly customized vehicles to spawn in. Just as an example, right now, a Tornado in purple which is fully customized and owned by one of the local gangs has just spawned in next to me. This is just one of the many vehicles which can be found at this location, and of course in this video I will be featuring all the different vehicles which are available when you make your way to this location after 7 PM. As you can see in the video, another time when I made my way to this location I managed to get myself an Albany Marnana to spawn in. Again, this is highly customized and has many features which usually you wouldn't find on a standard version driving around. The Albany Marnana is possibly one of my favourites that can be found at this location. The Albany Buccaneer is another car which can also be found at this location. Once again, being a gang vehicle, it is highly customized and it can be found in 2 different colours. This one, which I'm currently driving, being green and brown. You can also find it in purple and cream. The final car which can be found at this location is the Vapid Peyote. Now this is in fact the most valuable car which can be found around the map of Los Santos and taken down to the Los Santos Customs to be sold. If you were to take this car down to Los Santos Customs, you can sell it for just over $13,000. All of the cars that can be found at this location can all be sold at the Los Santos Customs, and you can make more money from these than the standard version of them. And that's simply because these cars have already been customized, but the Vapid Peyote is the most valuable car out of them all. And not to forget, all of the cars which can be found at this location are storable, so you can take them all back to your garage and store them inside and keep them as personal vehicles. The next vehicle being featured in this video may not gain as much interest as some of the other vehicles being featured in this video. This vehicle of course being the tractor with the sand rake attachment on the back of it. Now as far as I know, this is one of the rarest vehicles in GTA 5 because the only spawn location where you can find this at is on the beach at this location between 6 and 10 PM. The sand rake itself is the only implement that can go on the back of the tractor on GTA 5. Now although you can take the tractor back to your garage, when you drive inside, the sand rake does disappear, so you can't actually store the sand rake inside of your garage. The next vehicle is definitely the rarest vehicle on GTA 5. This of course is the Romeo Hearse, and it is almost impossible to get this vehicle to spawn in on GTA 5 without having someone who already has a hearse drive past this location to trigger them to spawn in. Getting the hearse to spawn in on its own is almost impossible because of how rare the hearse is, so you will need to find someone that already has a hearse to drive past this location, and it will trigger more of them to spawn in. Now I'm sure it goes without saying that the Romeo Hearse is not the prettiest car in GTA 5, it's certainly not winning any awards for its appearances, but it's definitely one of the rarest, which is why it's something which you will want to store inside of your garage, and it does have some really cool customization features available at the Los Santos Customs. Now for those people that already have the hearse, what I recommend that you do is leave a comment on this video saying you already have the hearse and leave your gamer tag, so people who want to get the hearse can send you a message, you can invite them to a game and you can have.
So the next 3 vehicles are the gang vehicles, and we have the gang Manana, we have the gang Tornado, as well as the gang Peyote. So starting off with the gang Peyote, now these typically do tend to spawn around the Grove Street areas of the map, or the gang areas of the map, as you guys can see. Now some of these can be really difficult to spawn in. You can spawn in the normal versions, and then there's actually these gang versions which do actually have their own customizations on them. As you guys can see here, we have just had the gang Peyote spawn, and this is absolutely awesome. It has some leopard print seats, and it also comes with a lot of customizations on it as well, which in case you didn't know, you can actually go ahead and sell these inside of the Los Santos Customs, and these do typically sell for a lot more money, as they do come with a lot of gang customizations already on them. So this is an awesome spawn for this vehicle, guys, around the Grove Street areas of the map. It's typically around 7 PM to around 3 AM, you will actually increase your chances of getting these to spawn. So this is an awesome vehicle, guys. And now moving into the other gang vehicle. So another gang vehicle is known as the gang Tornado. Of course, this will have a higher chance of spawning if you do have a normal Tornado, and depending on which gang area you are in, you can get different versions of this to spawn. In my case, I actually managed to get it spawn directly just below the Grove Street area of the map, as you guys can see there. And once again, these do come with a lot of customization or gang customizations already on them, which means you can actually sell these vehicles if you wanted to at a higher price inside of the Los Santos Customs. Now this is another awesome vehicle, guys. Go ahead and try and get this one as well. And once again, these will spawn at pretty much any of the gang areas of the map. So if you go back to the same location I showed you guys for the Peyote, with one of these vehicles, you will get the gang version of this vehicle to pretty much spawn in that exact same location as well. And the same goes for the Manana as well, guys. If you simply go ahead and get a normal Manana, drive around the gang areas, another Manana or the gang version of the Manana should also spawn as well. And as you guys can see, here is the Manana as well. And all of these vehicles are really highly customizable in the Los Santos Customs, and you can drive them straight into your garage if you like as well. And that's also the Manana there, guys. Yet another awesome gang vehicle. And in general, these gang vehicles are some of my favorite vehicles in the game. They just generally look awesome inside of your garage. Anyway, moving on to the next rare vehicle, which is known as the Phoenix. Now this does kind of have a nice spawn location for it to actually spawn, which is actually over at the docks. And of course, the best way for this to spawn is to either have a friend who has the Phoenix, or of course, if you have one yourself, you will make another one spawn. But essentially, if you do have somebody in the game to help you find one of these, and once again, make sure you post your gamer tags as well as the vehicles down in the comments down below. Of course, if you take that friend with that vehicle over to the dock area, and if one doesn't spawn, what you guys can do is either drive away and come back, or you can find a new session to make the vehicles actually spawn again and actually cycle to a new set of vehicles. And eventually, if you do have one of these vehicles, or if your friend has one, you should get one to spawn pretty easily around the docks area location. And this Phoenix is also one of my favorite vehicles in the game. It has a very high customizations on it, or it's a very highly customizable vehicle, and in general it just looks absolutely awesome as well. And it can spawn as well on the road just up from the docks as well, so just bear that in mind. Around the docks area, or the roads around the docks, this vehicle does actually typically spawn in. So it's an awesome vehicle, guys. I do suggest you go ahead and try this one out as well. And now moving into the next one, which is known as the Mexican Mariachi car. So the Mariachi car does actually have a fixed set spawn location and a spawn time on the map. And what you want to do is go ahead and come to this spawn on the map, exactly what I'm going to right now. And then once you guys are pretty much on this path, what you want to do is come over to this location at around 7 PM at night, or that would be 19 o'clock, I guess you could say, in game time. And as long as you are here a little bit before that, guys, this vehicle should be able to spawn in. So I do suggest that you do prepare yourself around 3 or 4 in-game hours beforehand to actually get over here, and of course be prepared for this vehicle to spawn in. So what I did was I brought up the phone kind of facing away from the mountain for a bit, and today actually ended up being 7 PM in game time. As you guys consider, it just turned 7 PM, and from there what you need to do is go ahead and pull out your sniper rifle, and you should see the Mexican Mariachi car actually spawn into the game. And this vehicle is very unique in its own sense, as you guys will see here in a second. But once you guys put out the sniper rifle, exactly what you want to do is go ahead and snipe out the driver of that vehicle immediately, guys, because she will try to drive off the cliff, and if you don't do it quick enough, of course you will have to wait until the next day in GTA 5 at this exact time once again. But this is the only place I believe you can get this vehicle, and it is very unique as well. And another quick tip, guys, is as soon as you have actually sniped the driver out, pretty much remove your wanted level to get rid of the police as quick as you can. Then what you want to do is simply make your way over to the Mexican Mariachi car, and from there simply drive down the mountain slowly, as of course you don't want to blow this up as you've just actually got it. Now what's unique about this vehicle, of course, is it does have the sombrero in the back along with the guitars as well, and it's just one of those awesome rare vehicles to have in GTA 5 Online. And of course you can go ahead and take this down to the Los Santos Customs, or alternatively and take it straight to your garage and it will go in as normal. But anyway, guys, that is the awesome Mariachi car. And now moving into So the second last vehicle of the compilation is one of my all-time favorites, known as the Sultan RS, and if you play GTA 4, you will know this vehicle is absolutely awesome. Now this does have a really low spawn rate in GTA 5 Online, and it's probably one of the hardest or one of the harder vehicles to actually find in GTA 5 Online. Now this can spawn randomly across the map with a really low spawn rate, but there is one location on the map which is actually the prison parking area, which does have an increased chance of spawning the Sultan. Now at first glance you can easily mistake the Sultan for a sedan, so be prepared guys, because the Sultan actually turns into the Sultan RS when you actually customize it, as you guys will see here shortly. Now if this does not spawn on your first time entering the prison, what you can do is simply set your spawn location to last location, find a new session, and every single time you find a new session, some new vehicle should cycle and spawn in the prison area, and if you are lucky you should get the Sultan RS to spawn. Now to actually turn the Sultan into a Sultan RS, all you want to do is simply take it over to the Los Santos Customs, then pretty much upgrade the vehicle, and the upgrade that you are looking for is known as the roll cage, and of course adding the roll cage will actually turn this vehicle into a Sultan RS, of course with the Sultan RS logo as well on the side. So this vehicle is absolutely awesome guys, definitely one of my all-time